got an extra. Do you want one?
That's a big difference.
Well, this is what they're wanting to take out of this.
This.
Did
Now
everybody
that
get
makes
one of these?
sense. I'm with you.
Oh, Chris made it.
Hey.
Okay. I'm understanding.
Yeah, that's what's in the account. Here's
Gotcha.
what we want to do.
Gotcha.
You're late.
This makes sense now. Thank you.
We're getting ready to start, so let's get going. He won't be here. He said very wrong.
Oh, good. Pull the Bruce Smith.
You ready, Terry? Let's go ahead and call our meeting to order. I've asked Councilman Mallour to lead us in the prayer and pledge. Please stand.
Gracious Father, we thank you for this day you've given us. We thank you for all the many blessings, especially during Christmas and New Year's, Father. Thank you for all the people that was able to get there and back safely. And Father, we just praise you for your love and care for us. Just give us wisdom tonight and understanding that you may be glorified. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, if we could have roll call, please.
Terry Lamar,
Here.
Troy Shropshire,
Here.
Lori Bradshaw,
Here.
Travis Mallour,
Here.
Randy Chitwood,
Here.
Charles Trammell,
Here.
Chris Gantier,
Here.
Bruce Smith,
Item number 2, petitions from the audience. I believe we have one. It's Kathy LaValle. Come on up.
So I just wanted to tell you real quick, I know you've been talking a little bit about the underhouse, the transient community that we have in Pryor, and I just wanted to tell you about a party we had yesterday. It was simply called Welcome 2024. We invited the folks from Kingdom Closet and the Mission and opened it up to anybody in the community that wanted to come. Chris and Charles was there, the mayor showed up. You know, we had a really nice group of people. We ended up having about 60 people, about 25 to 27 from the underhouse community. And somebody was offered a really good job while he was there and ended up with somebody he had dinner with. And so he started work today. It was just really a joy that everybody kind of got together and had some fellowship and friendship and made new friends. And there were about 60 people there all together. The Open Door Venue ladies opened their doors and let us all, you know, crash in there for a while. And it was only a couple hours, but it made an impact. And I guess I just want to say, you know, I know that everybody sees it a little differently. Being in nonprofit most of my retired life, I know that people will, if you ask them, they produce. They just will. And we live in a really great community. So I'm not sure that it's so much a problem for city government as it is an opportunity for our faith-based community to kind of step up. And I know how you guys love committees, so how awesome would it be, you know, for the faith-based community to get a committee together to find out, you know, what is the need, what can we do, what can we do as a community to help make life better for all of us. So that's all I want. But it was a very cool thing. So, and hopefully we can, you know, we can do it more often. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 3, we'll start with our department head reports. Johnny, Emergency Management, you're first.
Got a couple of things. One is we did get our new 23-24 approval for our grant for emergency management again this year, so that's your copy you can keep.
Thank you.
We also just recently sent in our hazard mitigation plan update request. We'll start working out that here this coming year. What that program is about is we make a plan that everybody can have their part put in there that different projects that we want to do here in the city. And some of the things that we've done in the past is we've done 2 individual safe rooms where we've had over 100 people been able to get safe rooms in their homes in town. We got a generator for the fire station, we've gotten storm sirens, and we've paid for the master drainage plan out of that program. So whenever we work on this plan update, we'll come up with a list of projects that we want to do for this next year and, or the next 5 years. It's a 5-year plan. And once we get that done, we can apply for grant funding for those projects. And then also our COVID numbers have went back up again, as everybody can probably see on the news. We still have a lot. We get stuff from the health department, supplies for masks, gowns, gloves, and we just made a new batch of the sanitation juice that people use to sanitize. So if anybody needs any of that stuff, just let me know.
Do you happen to know what our percentage is right now?
It's really difficult. They can give you a percentage on how many people are hospitalized, but there's so many people that have it that don't get, that
Yeah.
doesn't report anymore. It's not as significant for most people as what it was when it first started, so they don't keep a good accurate number of that.
The hospitalizations, how are they compared to peak when?
They're not as bad as it was, you know, a year or 2 ago, but they're up quite a bit since this fall.
Thank you.
Isn't there a way that you can get COVID tests basically sent to your house
Yeah,
now?
we've got COVID tests,
Okay,
so
all right.
if you need some, just let me know.
I would just let the, the
Yeah,
people know.
in-home use COVID test.
Mhm.
So if you need some, just let me know.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Chief Young, fire?
And since he just said all that, Johnny does help us out quite a bit on getting supplies and stuff like that, and also helping us like when our task force deploys for stuff like that. So our emergency management is top of the line for sure. Him and Mike let us go out and do the fun stuff, and they help us clean up the paperwork. So they help us out a lot, so they're a great one. But I gave you all just kind of our end of the year, what we ran kind of call-wise. That kind of breaks it down, kind of just show you all what that is. That's not their daily logs, that's actually stuff that came in and phoned out as emergencies. So if y'all have any questions on that, but boys are pretty much going through mid-year right now. We're looking over equipment and calls and all that stuff to build, to see where we need to move forward, where we're lacking and where we're doing good, so we can just keep providing the best service to our fire district. Y'all have any questions for me, sir?
I see you have false alarm, false call, which I know there's always gonna be some of that, but I know it also ties up your resources. Is there something that can be done by the citizens to minimize?
No, I'd like to say so, but I'm just telling ourselves, we set our fire alarm off at the fire station today, so. If I'm gonna sit here and yell at people.
Did you
for doing
answer the
same
call?
thing- We were there, we were actually the first on scene. Response was within seconds, so the boys did a great job. But no, you're gonna get that, and anytime, especially with alarms and everything else like what we got now, that's just part of the beast.
Okay.
And, but our dispatch is really great, so once they start going through and figuring it out and the people call us, they're canceling us fairly quick, so. Yeah, it's one of those things, yeah, I'd like to yell at people, but just so happens we did that same thing ourselves today, so it is what it is. But, and people call in too, like controlled burns will be going, people will call those in, yet it's one of those deals you would rather start that way and get turned around for nothing as to be something and building and
Yeah.
be way behind, so. No, yeah, we get a lot of them, but like I said, I can't really yell at nobody because we did the same thing today, so.
Well, thank you, and thank you for your prompt response.
Well, yeah, the boys did great, even though they were the ones that caused it. Y'all have anything else?
Do you guys have any fireplace incidents anymore?
Well, dang
Good news.
it. It's not as bad. We still get them from time to time, which we're really not in that time of year yet. Here in
Okay.
the next month or so, we'll start seeing a lot more with fireplaces. We do try to push out, or when we talk to people, to make sure they know if they have a fireplace at home, they're actually going through the process to keep it clean so we don't have like chimney fires
Sure.
and stuff like that. But we're actually seeing more fires on the heating side for the external stuff, like people plugging in heaters and stuff, especially for animals outside. Heat lamps, stuff like that's actually causing us more problems than chimney fires is.
Okay,
But we still get those, but like I said, knock on wood, we're still doing good, but the next month or two, we'll start seeing a lot more supplemental heat
Okay.
issues on the fire side.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
appreciate it.
Golf. Mr. Bowman, survived your cold plunge.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I hope everybody had a wonderful Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Golf course was really busy for this month, even though we did have some bad weather. You know, we still have a lot of people out playing golf. Due to our membership special that we ran, we had the busiest month revenue-wise that we've ever had in December, so it was really good. So that's all going good. The maintenance, the golf course is in great shape, so that's one reason why we get a lot of play from other towns, Tulsa, you know, Claremore, Wagner, even had a lot of them come up from Fort Gibson, so the play's coming in from everywhere still. So the maintenance guys are just doing great, and of course they got a lot on their plate this time of year. We're still cutting trees down and stumps and trying to get the equipment ready for next year. We got about 60 days, and all of a sudden spring's here, so it's going to be a short time. Had the mayor and the engineer out. They come out and looked at the bridges that we need to badly replace, so we're trying to get a good plan developed to handle that problem. And then along with some cart paths. So we're booking a lot of tournaments and events. You know, golf course is a great place for charities to raise money. So anybody wanting to raise money, if somebody hits you up about that, it's, send them our way. Love to help them. You know, we can show them how to do it, how, you know, we do a lot of events out there. We can show them what people are doing that are successful. And, you know, it's, you know, they can raise quite a bit of money just depending on how much they want to work at it. So love to help them do that. But other than that, it's been a busy place. Anybody have any questions?
Yes, I have a few. The cart pass and the bridge project,
Yes, sir.
is that was budgeted for this year?
You know, those capital improvements, our fund is always just kind of built up. You know, we just build our fund up. And the way we've done it in the past, some of those things aren't budgeted. We say, hey, we want to use money that we've had excess in year 2022 or 2021. So we have our funds are really getting up there, and that's what we kind of line out is, hey, we want to keep this much money in the bank so we can run through the winter time when the revenues are slower. We want to allocate different amounts of money for our projects.
Do you feel that you have enough money in those accounts right now to take care of it?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And I actually plan on giving them, hey, this is what I would do. You know, I want to keep 100,000 in the bank for operating capital, and then, you know, like, say we got 325, we're going to spend 200 of it, whatever. You know.
Didn't you have some Cherokee money also?
Yes, we have $25,000 donated to the Cherokee, and that needs to be spent by the end of this year. Or it goes
The
away.
calendar year or fiscal year?
The calendar year.
Okay.
I understand, yeah, 2024.
And then temp employees, how many do you have?
Right now, I have Alan. No, he's the only full timer, and then the temps. I have one guy that just works like 12 hours a week, but altogether we have 4 temps.
4 temps, okay. And are you doing okay budget-wise in your temp account on the budget?
Yeah, it's probably run a little higher than I'd like for it to be, but, you know, usually we have 2 full-time city employees, but now we're only having Alan, so we're kind of spreading money around there.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Miss Carrie Rarrett from the library.
Hello. You have our fancy pants spreadsheet. One thing to note when you look at this year's numbers versus last year's numbers, last December, we did not open the library from our move until December 19th. And then bright and early, December 26th, we discovered that we had a water main break, and so we had to close the library down again, and we didn't open again until January 5th. So last year's December numbers are weird. This year's are pretty, I mean, they're pretty okay. Like I said, in August, that didn't happen until just now. All of our stuff is getting slower as the year ends. We'll probably start picking back up as the weather gets a little bit warmer. So I anticipate December and January and February to be pretty low for us as far as our typical numbers, but we're still doing okay. I will also note that the internet use number, I'm not 100% confident about because I realized there was a report that I forgot to run. So it'll probably be a couple hundred more than that. So anyway, that's it for me. Do you guys have any questions?
Yes, the program attendance, is that 70 meaning 10 different events?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Frank, Parks and Cemetery.
December, pretty much kind of a slower month. You got weather, holidays, people taking vacation. We basically spent most of the month just trying to get all the sand off the volleyball, getting it ready for the skate park. We're down to just a pile in the corner that we're gonna get rid of. They got started on Christmas lights today. I'll probably get the rest of those up tomorrow. Let's see. Cemetery, there's a few numbers. Oh, they finished the year with, they had 100 burials for the year, and then they sold like another 60. And we got a little chart going up trying to determine, how much land's left. But we've had the new sections plotted, so that'll be the next year or two. But other than that, like I said, except for the sand, that's what's took up most of our time. Haven't done too much. Any question?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Is there any plan, since it's dead in the winter, do you all have anything in the works to do about out at the ballparks, at the baseball fields, to get them ready for the spring and summer, or who handles all that? Or in the
Usually,
winter?
each organization usually does their own. They come to us occasionally, because I've always asked them if they need to come to us early. Don't wait till March or April, because by then we're busy doing other things. But most of the time, most of their own organizations do their own projects.
Do you all ever go out and look it all over and inspect it to make sure that there's no major issues that the city needs to be taking care of at those ballparks?
We do, and like I said, a lot of times, like with the actual, and usually if we see something, we contact whichever ones, if it's the Little League or girls softball. But other than that, most generally, not too much. We say other little like the mower maintenance, picnic tables, benches. We drag those in the shop, and we have those ready for those cold, rainy, or snowy days, and that gives us something to do on the inside.
Okay. And what's the timeline for the skate park? Is funding all
They said, I think it's going
good to go for it?
Be delivered in March. A little bit later than we thought. By the time it got approved, it bumped it up. So we're hoping to get the pad. A lot of it just depends on weather. Now we're into the winter months, so that's going to be the.
And are you counting on any kind of donations or grants from outside agencies?
Just Cherokee Nation at the moment.
Is that all good to go? The paperwork's all done and I's are dotted, T's crossed? Okay.
Yep.
And then lastly, I noticed today, as I was driving down through the park around the Sertoma Club, that it's pretty dry in the creek there at the Sertoma Club at that branch. But when you go northbound on Kauai Street and look downstream, it's full of water, and you can see down there towards the Sertoma Club, it's kind of dammed up right there. If that, you might put that on your list to check out. So that water.
Is that where that one black pipe is? There's
Yep.
probably a lot of
Yep.
trees.
It had a lot of debris there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Put that on the list.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Chief Cantrell, Police and Animal Shelter. got a couple of awards that we're gonna do first, and I'll kind of read the synopsis of the incident that happened. On September 22nd of 2023, Pryor Creek police officers were dispatched to a residence on Southeast 7th Street in reference to an infant choking. Police Corporal Bennett and Officer Flood were on scene within minutes of the call. Corporal Bennett and Flood observed the infant breathing, but the infant was still struggling to breathe and had an object lodged in its airway. Officer Flood performed life-saving measures and then handed the baby off to Corporal Bennett, who opened the baby's mouth and could still observe obstruction in the airway. He did a finger sweep of the infant's airway and cleared the obstruction. Just prior to this call, Corporal Bennett had went through our basic life-saving course at the Pryor Police Department and gave them training to do these kind of things on these calls. If not for prior preparations through training, the outcome could have resulted in tragedy. The baby is actually the son of a dispatcher for GRDA police, so he's well known to us. He's well known, to the community. It's with great honor that the Pryor Creek Police Life Saving Award is presented to Corporal Bennett and Officer Flood tonight for distinguished service and devotion to duty. You guys want to come on up? We did a folder, like I said, it's got the Pryor Creek Life Saving Award on it, and then a picture of Corporal Bennett holding the baby. You got a picture of him too, that's one picture. And I know their families are here, Corporal Bennett's kids are here, and then Officer Flood, her husband's here. So we thank you guys, and appreciate your service to our community.
Outstanding.
So it's nice to get to do those kind of things, and I appreciate you guys letting us do that, have their families here, and just recognizing the officers that go out of the way, because the day-to-day routine, you don't get to see these kind of things that they do. So it's nice when they go above and beyond Call of Duty, and especially when they get to save somebody's life. So kind of the part of the thing, I'm going to give a year-end review. We have statistics here, and you can see that calls for service this year, they ran 23,155 calls for service. That's around 62.5 calls a day that the officers ran. A lot of that's proactive. You see traffic stops is in there, so everything together is what the officers are doing. They had 560 arrests, 1,662 citations, and 9,051 traffic stops. And then you'll see slideshow later, but since May, the department, and I'm proud of the department as a whole, as far as, because the police officers get most notoriety, but we also have 6 dispatchers behind the scenes, the record clerk behind the scenes, then you have the animal control, you have 3 animal control officers. There's a lot behind the scenes going on for everything to work as it is. December 30th, we did an NDUI campaign, and we had 10 officers pull. It's a grant shift that the Oklahoma Highway Safety Office provided the grant for, and I think we had 10 officers out, and over a 12-hour period, they stopped 168 cars, arrested 5 people, and involved in 2 pursuits. So it was a huge success, and to be out witnessing that, and to hear the dispatchers run that radio, I mean, it was constant traffic. They did an excellent job, and I'm proud of the employees that we have at the Pryor Police Department. Since May, we have secured $384,000 in grants or donations. We have put 9 vehicles into service, which is huge on our service, cost for the units that we're going down. So all of our units that we have now are in service and online. We don't have any units sitting there.
Super.
We've added, the following divisions have been added, and this is for good of service for the community. We've added an ICAC division, which is Internet Crime Against Children, a narcotics unit, a search warrant team, and bike patrol. And when you look at these things in a small department, what you got to realize, a lot of these guys are going extra duty. So the ICAC team, there's not a, here's your job is to do Internet Crime Against Children. This is in your extra duty that you do this. So these officers are working their normal patrol duties, plus pulling ICAC, that search warrant team, and you may have seen a few pictures. But when you do a search warrant, there's a lot that goes into it. I know the mayor's got to witness a few of the ones that we ran lately, and I want him there for a reason, to see kind of what we're doing. And I would love for you guys to say, hey, I'd like to tag along too and see this. Because it's something that will open your eyes when you see us going into these situations that you really don't know who's in the house. The last one that we ran was by the police department, and we probably had 20 officers, and it's a combination of us, GRDA police, the Mason County Sheriff's Office had a deputy there, and the way we brief those things and have them set up, officer safety is priority. I don't want anybody to ever get hurt. I mean, nothing's worth that. So having officer safety in mind, going into these, and the people that are in the house. Now, we want to be as safe as possible for them as well. And I think you were able to witness that going into that one the other day. There were 7 people in that house. So we go into the house, they have to clear the house. There's 7 people, dogs. The things that we encounter when we go in there are unknown. So being prepared and having that training, having these teams together is huge. But these guys are patrol officers. I mean, first and foremost, they're our patrolmen doing these extra duties. So I hand it to our officers, our department, over the last 8 months since I've been here. They've done an excellent job. And there's outside agencies talking about the morale, the professionalism, how Pryor PD is setting the standard for the county as far as the officers are going and how they're doing. I mean, it makes me proud as chief to see that, and it's a testament to just everybody working in together for the common good. So over the last few months, one of the big ones was the golf course got hit. Within, I don't know, a matter of 5 hours, they had that suspect in custody. It was a $40,000 hit to the golf course, and they had her arrested within probably 5 hours. And I know Dennis sent me a message today. Thank you guys for extra patrol out here. I've been seeing them. It makes us feel good that your guys are coming out to the golf course and doing extra patrols out there. So I don't know if you guys have any questions for me on that end of it. Cool, then we'll get Becky. I'll let her talk about the animal control side, kind of get the year-end review out there. Like I said, it takes a team. It takes everybody on that team. So from animal control to dispatch to the records to us to the patrol SROs, it takes a whole team to make it work. So we've got a really good team, and I'm proud of every one of them. She was running a call, what, 10 minutes before you got here?
Yep.
I heard her pick a dog out before she got here.
And it had rolled in something pretty gross, so, sorry, I smell. End of year numbers, I don't know if you guys got a chance to take a look at that. We, brought in 674. Not really sure I like this number, but our outgoing was 666. Yeah, I thought, is there some way we can find something else, but apparently not. We did have to euthanize 15 dogs for space.
And that was a year.
Statements, 'cause I was,
Fund 96. It doesn't, it's not broken down on the financial statement like that. That's something that I was talking with Terry before council about. We have to have some year-end entries from Jeff once he closes our fiscal year audit stuff from last fiscal year, and then I'll be able to get those entries in there and it'll reflect on the financial statements.
But those are things that, you know, having that money that's there that was donated and we can actually use to you know, rehab that thing and get some things out that we need to do, because there's a lot that we need to.
It'll like some outside pins that would actually hold dogs.
We're working forward to do it.
so,
Go ahead.
Is that 20,000 gonna go to fix the walls that you showed me whenever I was there? You did a tour, you gave me over that's all rusted at the bottom.
I thought there was 50,000.
There was capital, some of that was capital.
Was that capital?
We built some capital to fix that. We're just kind of weighing our options on some of it as well as, we don't want a Band-Aid, we want a permanent fix.
Correct. And I think
Yeah.
you said that if you just replace it, with more metal or
It's not
aluminum,
gonna
it's just gonna
last.
rust
Yeah,
again.
it's not gonna
This
last.
thing may be 10 years. So we're talking about a retaining wall, like a concrete retaining wall. That's something we need to push forward on. Hopefully get a plan, and by spring, when it warms up a little bit, we can kind of come up with some of those plans and put some.
Even if it's just 3 foot, just give us 3 foot.
Correct, yeah.
I had a question on, how does I saw this one on Foster. How does that work, or how does someone get involved in that or anything?
They just basically fill out a foster form.
Okay.
And, just come and take whatever animals that, most of the time it's kittens or puppies
I see.
that we need to get out of the shelter.
Sure.
So they're not getting parked
You gonna take about 10 cats?
How many fosters do you
I'm not a
have?
cat person.
right now.
Foster families.
Let me cheat.
Not pets, but actually foster families.
foster families.
Yeah, those who are fostering, do you know how many?
There's probably around 6 right now.
So it would help if we could get that number up.
That
Obviously.
would be helpful, especially for dogs. We're doing okay on cats right now. Our dog numbers, that's where we're struggling right now. It's like every time we empty pens, the next day they're full again.
You made that comment that you would like outdoor pens, dog in, maybe they got too many, maybe we can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's no fence that
Well,
keeps
could you
them in.
just kind of nose into that a little bit, so maybe we can make the needs known, maybe?
Yep.
Maybe somebody wanna,
And I wanna give them a little kudos, because police, I mean, us and dispatch are working 24/7, holidays, Christmas, New Year's, but animals are the same way. Animals don't take a break either, they don't care if it's New Year's Day. I mean, they're still gonna use the bathroom, they need fed, and so somebody called and they were like, is animal control working? Yeah, they're out there. Because it's New Year's Day, we didn't think they were working, and they work 24/7, they work every day.
They still
Weekends,
eat.
holidays, so 7 days a week, somebody goes out there, takes care of the animals, does their job. So just kudos to them too.
Thank you.
For doing their job, I mean, and, throughout the year.
I have one last question. You and I kind of talked about this whenever I met y'all out there. It seems like every time I go anywhere in town, there's just loose dogs running everywhere. And I know we have city ordinances with citations, and I know y'all write tickets, but it's not working. People are letting their animals, I don't even take my dog out in the front yard during the day anymore. There's so many loose animals out there, big dogs too. Is there something we can do, strengthen the penalties, the fines?
I mean, it's $208 now, I think, something like that for an at-large dog.
It's not working. People are not taking it serious for whatever reason. Can we move it up to $500?
And that's something the council can do, and we're actually gonna talk about some fines later on.
Something I'd like for you to think about and come back to us is what can we do to get these animals off the street? And they're getting hit. Some of them, I saw somebody post that one got hit the other night on Southeast 9th down towards the Homeland, that shopping area. So, we've got to do something.
Can I interject a little bit? On the court side, I don't think raising the fine is going to help anything because in November, legislature passed a thing making it a little bit easier for defendants to have payment plans and things of that nature. I don't think raising the fines would benefit us any for that.
Yeah, if they meet certain criteria, there's a lot of waiver there, and most of the ones that we're probably talking about would meet criteria, and you can pull up some statute on that, but it's like, you are pulling some teeth away from the laws.
Yeah, I can get you guys more information later on that, but
Yeah.
just for,
Is that a state statute?
yes,
It's,
Yeah, I definitely want that because
Yeah.
that's stupid.
I agree, but we have to follow it, so I can,
No,
like I
I-
said, get more information.
but we
on
can,
that.
we can do some brainstorming and see about things that we can come up with on that.
I mean, I would even be opposed, if we could do it, putting a ban on pet ownership for repeat offenders in the city. If you have a dog that constantly gets out, is running around, you're paying the fine, just ban them from owning pets in the city. You do that 4 or 5 times, I think you'll start seeing it get a little more serious about people. But I know, and that's nothing against y'all.
On the agenda, we can pull off Spillman, Digiticket, all that stuff. There's some discrepancies on cost that we need to look into. That was just brought to my attention, so let's pull that off. Let me do a little more research, because there's a lot of interfaces and exports and costs, and I wanna make sure we got everything legit that we need, so we can pull all the.
One more thing, with the higher fines, keep this in mind, a lot of the people who have these dogs can't even afford the $200 fines. And then therefore, we're gonna be stuck with our dogs, cause they're not gonna come get their dogs.
that's true.
I get it, it's a double-edged sword. I get
It
that.
really is a
But
double-edged.
we've got to do
I
something.
agree with you on
We've
that,
got to
I
do something.
really wish we could.
I mean, it's just, what is the solution? I have my ideas, but I would like to hear your ideas, Jeremy's ideas
Totally
as well.
open to anything.
And you can
that
see
think
animal
might work.
calls, last year we were at 614.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
I mean,
them, that's not police. Police, I mean, we may run a few, but they're doing the majority of
And
it.
that's what we call them to dispatch. We should.
Yeah, there's a lot more they're doing, they take care of on the back end, so.
Chief, which one was the one that you were asking?
Any dingy.
It's gonna be F, G, and H is what we're gonna pull
FG
off.
and
We're gonna table it for now, or just no action, and
No
let
action.
me do a little more research, because some
Thank you.
things are brought to my attention on it that I need to
Yeah.
look into, just to make sure we got our ducks crossed.
We will pull those when we get there. Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you.
Mr. Moore, Rec Center.
Good evening, everyone.
Mm,
Well, the HVAC mechanical seems to maintain the headlines, so we had a couple of things that went down over the weekend. Pool heater, that got that back up and going, and then one of the unit on the fitness area that we are replacing finally gave up completely, so hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have that replaced and on our way. Last month, we had 120 20 new members, 25 of which were from the Cherokee membership program. Membership was up overall 1%, 5% now over the last couple of months at 2,047. So that's good. The new class schedule's out for land and water. We've added the virtual studio class to that. We'll have one of those every day this week, or each week, so that'll be new for the year. GRDA is back training this month. We did get in on a grant to replace all of our lighting with LED lighting. So I think we hear about that on the 8th, so we're looking forward to that. Brittany Englehart that runs our front desk came to me here a while back. She had an idea to run an art contest for the Boys and Girls Club. So she and Rose got together. Rose is the director, as most of you know, I think, and came up with a plan on that. So that's been rolled out this month for all the Boys and Girls Club kids from Green Country Boys and Girls Club. So they can submit their artwork, and then there'll be a judging at the end of the month, and we'll give some awards accordingly. So kind of looking forward to that. Working on a couple of different fundraising things. Not very far along just yet on that. I'll bring more up as we get further down the road on that. But other than that, we're just kind of status quo. We're looking for a surge this month and next. You know, with the new year, everybody's doing their New Year's resolution thing. So hopefully we'll get an influx here in the next few weeks. So those are kind of the highlights for now. Anybody
Like that pool heater, didn't we just replace that?
Yeah, we've
Not under warranty?
well, they've been out 2 times before, and we're holding the line. We didn't pay for it. There's been some leaking on the outside, and then this time there was a gasket that gave way on the outside, and so yeah, there's some warranty on that, and we're taking advantage of that. So we haven't had to pay for that, any of that work so far. So.
But how much downtime is it that you can't use the pool because of that?
Well, we really haven't been down. What's happened is the temperature goes down, and this weekend that happened on Saturday. So, you know, if you're a lap swimmer, it's not that big a deal because, you know, you're working up a sweat, so to speak. And then, of course, we didn't have any classes over the weekend, so there was minimal effect. But they got it going this afternoon, so by tomorrow morning, I think we'll be close to our 87 degrees. So fortunately, they came out, and Boyle Company's the one that put that in, you know, last spring or whenever. I think it was last spring. It was not too long before I came on board. So, so anyway, we're back in the game.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Buddy Glenn, Street Department.
I need extra money for me. I mean, if nobody says anything, I mean, I can put a request in, I don't know. Might be something in there. No, we've been, I mean, as the weather changes, I mean, everything that we kind of do here, it kind of changes around. We don't do so much concrete work or asphalt work. I know I've had several requests, but like I said, usually on asphalt, you know, it's just depending on the plant out there out east of town. If they're making some, if we've got some places that we can get it down fairly fast, you know, we've been trying to do some patch work, especially with utilities. Like I said, we're still working with them. They get, you know, small patches and stuff that we do for them. So concrete, again, always I talk with Jared, and then like I said, this time of the year, you know, when it's changed out, that they just try to maintain their dig outs and stuff until weather permitting. You can't pour concrete if it's supposedly 32 degrees and rising, but I mean, you still, to me, you're still taking a little bit of chance because that's, the top can break off. I mean, I just don't like port when it started getting cold. We have been running a sweeper here, before a sweeper broke down. I know Mr. Lamar come out and he looked and, like I said, our cover and our fan blower, that creates the suction on it, that both, we replaced it, I think it was 5 or 6 years ago. And this, and we had the people that normally get from, they have searched all over the place and they found one of each, and I think it's in North Carolina. And after that, then we're gonna have to make a decision whether we're gonna keep purchasing sweepers or, we're gonna have to look at getting another one once, if y'all go ahead and pass to have it repaired, because let's say within a couple of years, there's no other parts that we can find for it. It's 20, 21, 22 years old. I guess that's partly my fault or, whatever, trying to keep things, but I hate just getting rid of things if they're working well. But, it's something, if any other part starts going out, the minimum we checked on, just some of the sweepers that we're looking at, minimum's like 350,000. So, I mean, we paid, I think it was 125,000 for this one. So you can see how much they've gone up. Well, 22 years ago.
Yeah, it's been
but
a
I mean,
while.
but that's something, that we need to discuss and look at. And, if we just do the downtown area, you could find something probably half that size that we could do. But I mean, if we didn't do any residential streets, but then again, especially in the fall area, for getting leaf debris and stuff out of the ditches and off the streets. And, that's just something we have to look at, because we was also looking at purchasing one of them, it's just a leaf removal machine. We was looking at just one of those, but that's what you could also, I mean, you could use that just doing curb cleaning, year round, but it wouldn't actually clean your streets. There's no broom or nothing that sweeps debris out of it. So, I mean, that's kind of two different objects, but I mean, that's, one may have get put on hold or something, but anyway, that when it broke down, but, we've still been out trimming trees, over the street. Some of those, again, this is the time of year to do it, saps down, you're less, apt to harm a tree and everything on it. We pulled off here for the next couple of days. We've been out south town underneath the bridges out there, the state highway. They don't trim no more. They said since it's inside the city limits, it falls back to us. So, we've been under the bridges cutting in, because I'm sure y'all's noticed some of the trees are starting to grow up, hang over on the inside. We still have the outside. We're gonna try to take our, chipper and try to go down and the one we start working on side, block that far lane, west lane off, go headed south, and, cause that's a pretty good slope down through there. And like I said, I don't wanna turn anything over, tear anything up, but I mean, that's something that, it may be easier to do it that way and just chip them up and blow it off in there, cause I mean, it'll all break down anyway. We've been out grading some of the alleys. There's not as much traveling down through there, but there's still some that people live back behind them, that they use the back entrance and stuff, so we've been back there doing those. We've done a little trimming on them. I don't know if I mentioned, we put, stop signs and stop lights in a trailer park. I don't remember if I mentioned that last time or not, but that seems to be working well. I haven't had any complaints, for them calling down and saying, hey, what's the deal with this?
And it's slowing the traffic.
Does it? Okay.
Good.
We've replaced a couple sign posts been run over. I don't think it's not like it used to be, where there were some, I don't wanna call them kids or whatever. Of course, they're all kids I'm getting up in that age that most people are kids. But they used to go around with their pickup trucks and they just push them over.
Yeah.
Then they would take off. So we had a couple of those. We've done some asphalt work on Dog Pound Road. It was, if you've never been down Dog Pound Road, you need to drive down through there. One of these days, we need just to overlay that road and be done with it. And, cause it's just an old and chip road. It's always been that way. It used to be gravel, and like I said, we used to grade it, at least once a week. But like I said, just with a thin layer of that, it don't take much anymore for that road to get just full of holes. And I can't keep just wasting that expensive, patching material on it. So we went down this last week and we put like 24 ton, of regular asphalt on it, just spread it out with skid steers and rolled it in. And yeah, we did get a roller going, so it lasted all that day. So, and today we we went down and replaced all of our emergency, lights over our exit doors. We had one that was over that, and that was something we discussed here a while back, that we needed them, so all the, had emergency lights went out, at least show you the way down through that, so that's been upgraded, and, other than that, like pulling maintenance, we've, done some work out there on our Quonset hut, we've kinda rearranged, thrown some old stuff away, and got the yard looking pretty good down there now, so just waiting on the snow to pass us by. I hate, not use them new trucks down there, but it wouldn't hurt my feelings.
We might get some Friday.
Do what?
Friday morning has a
And Monday.
small.
Yeah. Yeah, it may not be.
Bet you had some fun putting up a bunch of Christmas wreaths, didn't you?
Yeah, we had, we put them up, we took them down, utilities took them down today, and we hauled them all back and put them up, so, that's done, so. Anybody got any questions, or?
Yes, sir, I do. The major construction projects we've been doing, Green Country Mobile Home Park, that's done.
Correct.
What about the Fairland Street, the Nunley drainage ditch, and the alleys? What's the status of those?
Okay, well, the alleys, they've been going through and doing a lot of the concrete work before they do their asphalt. I know that's, they'll do that the very last, and weather permitting, that's the same way. If it's really cold out there, you've got to get your asphalt down, or you start getting cold spots in your asphalt, and then it doesn't last very long. Out there on Nunley's on North Elliott, they've got that first one dug out and set up. I don't know exactly what they've got left. They was working, I'm assuming they was working, they had 4 loads of dirt they said that they was gonna have today that they needed a place to put. And I'm assuming they was working on, was that one, it was 150 feet north, I guess, of where they was working at. That one section where they was wanting to put some, before the engineer, when Steve was here, was wanting to put riprap in there. So I'm assuming that's where they was, because when I drove out there, I didn't see anybody.
Is that the part kind of directly behind Cornette's house roughly?
Yes, down in that area right through there. The alleyways, like I said, they're doing that. The trailer park, we did our walkthrough here. It's been a couple of weeks back. Went around and looked at everything. Everything looked fine. Everything was good. On Fairland, they done some concrete work over there actually on Fairland where it comes to where third place is the west end of third place. They poured that in concrete to get everything where it would flow into that drainage, and they're supposed to, when they come back, then they're supposed to overlay that, down, because they're supposed to do a 6-inch edge mill on that, which, I'm hoping we're not gonna, on the crown, it's not gonna be too high on it, which may not be, but then when they do that, they'll come back and do a 2-inch overlay back to the gutter line. So we won't be holding water in them drives anymore.
What about the Salt Branch area out west of 69 to 5th and Maple area?
Well, I talked to Bo from Envision. He asked me about that there, and I told him, I said, I hadn't been out there, but I said, when you get ready to, a week or so or something before you get ready to do it, I said, just holler at me, we'll go out there and we'll look and see if everything that we need to do. But I did talk with him on the phone.
Okay.
And,
And then back to the Nunley ditch, are they gonna put riprap from Elliott Street up to Nunley's driveway too?
well, that's what I'm understanding, and I thought they said something about blocks, but I'm thinking it's gonna wind up being riprap on through there. So,
Okay.
I need to look back on the.
I think my understanding was they were only gonna change the riprap on that backside behind Cornett, because they could do that differently there. That front easement there that we got, that 16 foot by whatever, that'll stay the way it was originally planned.
And what was that?
I believe it was block.
Oh, the block,
I
okay.
believe so.
And then is there anything, by cleaning all that out now to where that water's gonna flow, is it gonna get dammed up there as it goes under Nunley's driveway because the pipes are too small underneath the drive now?
Well, I was assuming that the engineering done a water hydraulics on that, figured how much water, by cleaning that out, how much that would take effect on that part. I don't know what their results are, but I guess,
There should be a written report on that, right, from the engineer?
Well,
yeah, I mean,
I think the biggest thing there is with those 3 culverts under his drive, the middle one being crushed, we're supposed to replace that. And
As part of this project?
yes,
Okay,
yeah, and those 3, if they're full and opening, should be sufficient to get that water.
they gonna put bigger pipe in there?
At least what's there now. I think when I talked to Dale, it was if we can, if it's available, but at least what's there now, and I don't remember
I
if
think
that
they're
middle one is a
18-inch pipe. I think
8-inch.
there's like 3 of them.
So the biggest they could possibly do is a 10, but.
And they'll have to tear out part of his asphalt driveway and
Correct.
replace that properly back.
Correct, and that's all included in the plan.
Have you checked to see if that was cleaned out in there? I think you got the machine now to do that with, correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, the last time we was up there at Nunley's, the pipe was fairly clean in through.
Okay.
There was a little silt built up at the bottom, but it wasn't anything that would block the water
Stop flow.
through.
Mhm.
And plus, if it's a permanent easement, which I'm trying to remember if it was or not, in that area, if that's ours, and see that we'd be responsible, if there's anything from them pipes, then it would be our responsibility to go through and keep it cleaned out where it would flow right.
Okay.
So,
And then lastly, and I know I've asked this question before, but I'd like to see something official on it, is where Adair Street's all tore up from MUB around the old Western Auto Store area there. What's the plan for getting that fixed and
okay,
doing
well,
it
for
properly? Is
the
it-
asphalt part, I talked with Dale here the other day, and he was asking me about that, and I said, well, since that's a utilities, dig out, and as of right now, we just hadn't had a chance to be able to fix it ourselves. One thing is our roller. If you're gonna do that in the street, you're gonna have to have something that's gonna compact that where it needs to be, because if you don't, it's not gonna last. It'll just start breaking out. And so he's supposed to be getting a number up for that contractor. When they start doing their asphalt, he's supposed to get a number for that, and then get with Jared, and then Jared will pay for, or we'll pay for it, and Jared will reimburse us for it, or however. But the concrete on the sidewalks, we poured around, one fire hydrant, and then, that end piece down there, we poured concrete on them a couple weeks ago, I think it was. But they still got several, dig outs that they need to do with the meters. I guess they're bringing them closer to the street or to the curb or something.
Yep.
So there's still gonna be several more down there that they're gonna have to do, so it's just whenever they get their work done, and then, cause the concrete's easier for us to do, it just is. But as soon as they get all their work done, then I'm waiting on a punch list, and then I will go back and fix those, and then, cause I get, everything we do for them, I write down, and concrete tickets, any asphalt tickets and everything, and then.
But MUB will probably pay to reimburse us or for
Correct.
that. Because it would make sense to me, I think it would be common sense to do a change order to have them fix it and do it right while they're downtown working on those alleys.
Yeah, that's what Dale was supposed to get with them, with Dunham, and to get a price on the repair on that while they're still here. So once they do their milling, that they get done, then come do their asphalt, then they're supposed to have a price for that there too. So.
And then lastly, thank you very much for grinding down that speed bump as you go down Rose Street and cross over Highway 20 here. Somebody did go in there.
Yeah, that's another thing we're gonna have, now we've gotta
Grind
go
that
back to.
speed bump down.
Yeah, White Star, we've gotta get some new teeth. That WPA rock is hard. So, because that's everything that's poured underneath the asphalt going downtown, it's all WPA rock. And that's why when you feel them little bumps going through there, that's that concrete that's pushing down on the soft spot, base is giving way and it's pushing it up. So even like up there by South Adair, or on Adair Street, you feel them, that's what's happening with them. But they was kind of wore a little bit, but once we got done grinding that rock, because they were asphalt teeth that we had on there. So, but next time when we go down, we're gonna buy concrete teeth, and that should take care of both of them.
Okay.
So,
Thanks.
anything else?
Oh, thank you, sir.
If I got no money, then I guess
Sorry. Maybe next time.
I'll.
We're gonna spend your money on your street sweeper repair tonight, so you got,
Okay, oh yeah, and I got hold of the people in Pennsylvania, our little plow should be here Friday,
Awesome.
so.
Okay. Courtney, do you have anything?
Yeah, hang on.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we're busy as ever, like always. Lisa and Darla working on payroll and accounts payable year-end things. They have to submit reports to the government because, they want information like that. So they're working pretty busy, or being pretty busy on that. Obviously, the police department's been really busy with grant shifts, writing a lot of extra tickets. So in turn, we're also really busy entering all of those tickets. A couple of you were in here before council, and I told you that it takes about 5 to 7 minutes, depending on the citation, to enter a citation. So it takes quite a while to get all of those entered manually. Lori and I are getting pretty good at getting financials done really quickly, so I'm pretty proud of that. We've changed a lot of the way that we do our financials each month, and you guys didn't get the financials until last week or so, but we had it pretty much done within a week, and that's pretty incredible coming from May to now, because it took us about a month and a half, I believe, for April and May, so we've changed it quite a bit and made a really good progress with that. And then the ladies in the office are doing great about helping me with court. They've done tremendous amounts of work learning how to do everything and to be able to answer questions to citizens without having to come and ask me every time, because they've never been exposed to it. So I'm really proud of them for all of that as well. That's all I got.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item 4, the consent agenda. If there's items outside of F, G, and H that we need to remove.
Letter K.
Letter K, okay. Any further? All right, do I have a motion to approve
Motion?
A,
Second.
B, C, D, E, I, and J? We have a motion from Choya and a second from Gantier.
Can I just ask a question about J, since we're discussing the consent agenda purchase or approving it?
I can just pull it off and we'll,
Well, I just needed to ask a question, that's all.
what's your question?
What is this for specifically? The cloud-based control?
The Open Path is the system that gives access into the buildings. So when you go over to.
The keypad to get in and out to the building?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. That answer?
Yes.
Okay.
And there is money in those accounts to
Yeah.
cover it?
We have 112,193.78 and 44,445, 54.24, and 5,978.70 and 02,217, 5091.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, call for the vote?
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Malure,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier.
Yes. Mr. Mayor, can I make a motion that we take no action on letter F, G, and H?
You absolutely can.
Second.
I have a motion from Gantier for no action on F, G, and H, and a second from Mr. Chitwood. Discussion, if none, call for the vote.
Do we need that if you guys already told me you were pulling those off?
Well, now we're to those items, so we're doing a collective no action.
It was Gantier and Choya?
Chitwood.
Chitwood.
Sorry. Gantier, then Chitwood, or Chitwood first?
Gantier first, Chitwood second.
Okay, Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Malure,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Lamar.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item K, approve mayor to continue serving as the representative to the Grand Gateway Board of Directors.
Motion.
A motion from Chitwood,
Second?
second from Shropshire. This is an annual, comes up annually, we've got to send to them. Gantier?
Mr. Mayor, would it be feasible or beneficial or appropriate to make it standing that the sitting mayor would be the representative, and then the council president be the alternate, if so, or some, so that we don't have to do this every time? I mean,
If I recall, I believe they have to have some kind of document stating that council is approving that.
Yearly, correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Would a resolution work in that?
That's what I don't know if a resolution would work on that, or if you'd have to make that as a duty of the mayor and the ordinances. And I would not recommend you do that.
Right.
If you can do it by a resolution, I don't think that's a problem.
Well,
I don't know if
Maybe we
they
can do this
require-
now and then
yeah, approve
research it
this
for
and
next
then
time.
look into it.
Yeah.
And they're, I don't know how they're set up. It could be Grand Gateway requires a new nomination every year. I'm
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
So they send out a form that says,
Yeah.
tell us who your council elected.
Right.
That's it.
But if we've pre-elected, then it,
I think we have to provide our minutes or something
Okay,
with that as
then,
well.
yeah.
But like I said, we can research it.
We can take the vote tonight
Yeah.
if so, and then we'll look into it going in for next year. Further discussion?
no, sir.
Okay, call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Malure,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes?
Thank you. All right. Item 5, we have no mayor's report. Item 6, the city attorney's report. Item A, second reading and possible action regarding an ordinance amending Title 5, Chapter 4, Article C, Section 2, fireworks regulated.
So move.
Make the motion and waive the reading?
Do you wanna-
Yes.
Preferred.
wanna Change that motion, Gantier?
Yes.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Gantier to waive the reading and accept. Second from Mr. Chitwood, or I'm sorry, Joy.
Okay.
You two,
I
come
know,
on.
we're,
So we're doing the second reading and waiving that second reading.
Correct.
Okay.
Discussion, if none, call for the vote.
Malure,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier.
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
yes,
Bradshaw.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Item B, second reading, possible action regarding an ordinance changing and amending zoning classification from CAR, Commercial Automotive Recreation, to AG, Agriculture, of the property described as follows. Do I need?
Motion
I
to
that?
waive and approve.
Second.
A motion from Gantier to waive and approve, and a second from Mr. Chitwood. Get that right. Discussion? None, call for the vote.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier.
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
yes,
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Malure.
Yes.
Thank you. Item C, possible executive session pursuant to 25-307B2 of the Oklahoma Open Meeting Act for purpose of discussing personnel matters within the Pryor Creek Police Department.
Motion.
Have a motion for Mr. Chitwood,
second,
second for Mr. Shropshire. Call for the vote.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier.
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Malure,
Yes.
Chitwood.
Yes.
All right, y'all have a one little break. We'll be right back.
Yeah, she's got something.
All right.
She did.
Item D, consider resuming regular session, no action taken during executive session.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Gantier, a second from Chitwood. We need to call for a vote.
Gantier,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Malure,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Trammell.
Yes.
Item E, possible action based on executive session pursuant to 25-307B2 of the Oklahoma Open Meeting Act for the purpose of discussing personnel matters within the Pryor Creek Police Department.
Make a motion to take no action.
Whoa.
Wow.
All right, we're
I
gonna
don't
have
care
to,
who's first. She can put me,
It doesn't matter.
let's give it to Choya.
Okay.
No action on item E,
and I'll second.
and Chris will second it. Thank you, gentlemen. Call for the vote.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Malure,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier.
Yes.
Okay. Committee reports, budget and personnel.
The 9th. Next week.
Okay. B, ordinance and insurance.
30th.
Street and maintenance.
123.
What? Okay. Item 8, unforeseeable, we have none. Do I have a motion to
So
adjourn?
moved.
Second.
I have a motion for adjournment from Gantier and a second from Mr. Chitwood. Call for the vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Malure,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier.
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Okay. We will call to order the Pryor Public Works Authority. Item 2, approved minutes of December 19th, 23 meeting.
Motion.
I have a motion from Chitwood and a second from Gantier. Call for the vote. Sorry, we're
Brad.
going so fast.
you're okay. Bradshaw,
Yes.
Malure,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
We have no unforeseeable business. Do I have that final
Motion.
motion to
Second.
adjourn? Motion from Chitwood, second
Thank you.
from Gantier. Call for the vote.
Malure,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
We're adjourned.
Once we got that.